Tim Mueller. Tim Mueller is an Oregon sheriff, and he says he will not enforce new federal gun laws. Why won't he enforce them? It doesn't really make much sense to me. Let's see exactly if we can figure out what it is that is his problem. He says, what does he say? He says that he will not enforce gun laws that his department considers unconstitutional. That's a problem. That's a real problem. Because you know what? If he sent a letter to Joe Biden saying, I will not enforce any gun laws that are unconstitutional, I'd be perfectly relaxed because there's nothing even remotely unconstitutional about any of these executive orders or gun laws that are being proposed. However, the problem is it says any laws that his department considers to be unconstitutional. And as we know, people have very significant misunderstandings about the Constitution.
Right. I mean, across the board here, this is ridiculous because it's completely subjective. I mean, someone does decide what is constitutional. Your lawmakers, the courts, your government, they decide
if it's
what
appealed
is
far enough.
Constitutional.
The Supreme Court eventually decides what's constitutional.
So there are people in this country who legitimately get to decide what is constitutional.
Yeah.
This man is not one of them.
The other thing is that if you actually think about what he's doing here, Mueller told the Associated Press during a phone interview, and I heard him today on the 11 a.m. Eastern hour on MSNBC with Thomas Roberts. He says that he did this because he needs to make his views known because sheriffs haven't had much of a say on the vice president's gun control task force. And he says his constituents have been calling him and saying, what will happen if these new regulations are adopted? Now, Lynn County, which is where this sheriff works, is largely rural. It's politically conservative. Less than 40% of its registered voters voted for President Obama in November, it's estimated, and most households have guns. I actually feel really bad for the parents in Sheriff Mueller's district who pay property taxes that cover his salary, his pension, health care benefits, and depend on him to protect their children in schools along with the teachers and along with everybody else who works in those schools. And he's basically said, I will take no measures directed by federal government to prevent the possible next shooting. This is a very dangerous precedent, I believe.
There's something very unsettling about that comment.
The other thing is this. If we actually break this down even further, if he's saying in a letter to Joe Biden that he doesn't have to follow federal laws that he thinks are incorrect laws or unconstitutional, why are you even writing the letter? Why would Joe Biden even listen to you? In other words, you've already indicated that any decision Joe Biden makes doesn't affect you. So why should Joe Biden change what he's doing because you've written him a letter? You've already said that it's just completely moot and irrelevant. Doesn't make any sense.
All he's really doing is just holding up a big red flag for other law enforcement officials to see, ones that have more power and authority than him. It could very well end up being that this man loses his job because of this.
It is an elected position.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be good.
Sure.
But again, it seems like if you believe Sheriff Mueller that his constituents support this letter that he's written, do you think, Natan, that he even understands the absurdity of writing to the vice president so that he'll consider your opinions when writing the laws you've already said you won't follow unless you like them?
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, usually when this happens, it happens in small conservative counties and rural counties like this one. You know, these people, they have some sort of a power trip. They go on a cowboy, gun-toting stunt, or they try to assert their authority over the federal government. It's obviously not going to work, but it might lead to other small-town people like this doing the same thing.
Yeah.
This is on par with the town of Amherst near us writing a letter to Iran saying that they don't condone certain sanctions or whatever that our government are imposing. I mean, it's basically completely pointless. But like Natan said,
it's another level, though. It's pointless because of the content of the letter. It would be like if Amherst wrote a letter to Iran saying that, but in the letter including some passage that makes it so that the letter itself is not even a valid communication.
I suppose. I mean, in a way, what he's saying is, I'm not going to participate in whatever happens.
Right.
I wouldn't call it completely invalid, but it's kind of silly.
It's what, 85% of the way invalid?
Sure.
Yeah, there you go.